Hi, I'm Paul from Test Data Services, and this session continues on from the last one. It's a real-world example of doing a load test against real infrastructure in a realistic manner. Now, the first script that we looked at in the last session was just a sign-up script, but it was a realistic sign-up script. This one extends that so that after the sign-up, we save that user ID if it was successfully signed up, so that we can have another script that logs in as those users that were successfully signed up. Now, the whole point is we don't want to manage that data ourselves. We want to use this idea of dataless testing or just-in-time data fetching. So if we have a look at the script that we looked in the previous session, it's much the same as what it was. And if I step through it, I'm just going to run it. It'll quickly go through. It's submitting details. It's now waiting for an email. You can go through the previous session to look at this. And now we've finished the sign up. Now, the last step of that sign up was this call here to save user ID. It passes in as query parameters a subscription key and a person UID, which helps identify does identify that identity, and then the email address. So in this case, it was the person ID was 52104 and so on, and the user ID was Richard Dolphin. So what I will show you is if we now do a call in a browser to get saved user ID and we pass in the same subscription key we used in that script, which you can download these scripts and run them for yourself, which I highly recommend that you do. It's a much better way of learning, is seeing for yourself. If I refresh this, we've got Catherine Ryan, Richard Dolphin. He was one of the people we just added in. There's only a handful of users that I've created. If I refresh, John Taylor, Jasmine, John Taylor, Gregory, John Taylor, Richard Dolphin. So you've seen Richard come up twice. So that's one of those new users. Now what I'm doing in this script, which is the login script, is I'm going to single step through this one. I was on just a minute. I will start over again single stepping. It was already at the end of a scenario, at the end of a run before. So I am preparing to get a identity UID and an email. That's what these ones are. Setting a status message so I can see in the LoadRunner controller what's happening. And now I'm fetching one of these saved user IDs. In this case, I've got Lisa Watton. And then I need to get the password because we need to know how do we log in as this person. So this call here to get person, we pass in the UID, which we fetched just before. Will tell us by retrieving all of the details for that identity, including password 4, which we're going to use as the password. So that's BAQ in this case. Then we go to the sign up page, but we don't want to do a sign up. We will click on the link in there to instead do a sign in. So we're going to do that. And then once we get to the sign in page, we're going to do this HTTP post, which will submit the email address, the password, and some other things it needs to send in. And if it's successful, and if we get this text back saying Test Data Services as a title for the HTML page coming back, we know that we're good and we know it worked. If I was to put a dodgy password in, which I could do just to show you what it's like, you'll see that it fails. We'll leave existing password, but we'll just put QQQ at the end. Now when we push play, it fails because the user is incorrect. Well, just to prove that that's the problem, I will take the QQQ out and push play again, and it should work. So it goes through pretty fast. It worked. There you go. All right, so now we've got two scripts. The first script signs a user up and saves that user if it's successfully signed up. And the second script logs in as that user. So now I've got a load test here. And in this test, in LoadRunner, I've got the two scripts here, the sign up script and the login script. Let's look at the login script first. We'll just have a handful of users. we can see we're logging in as Catherine, Gregory, Jasmine, Lisa, and each time we log in, we can see they're doing their thing. So that's all very nice. If I now add in a single user, now we're just signing up with Stephen Turner. We have to wait for the email. Now Christian Martin. Now what we'll do is flip back over to here. Now you can see why I like these visa status messages. It gives us an idea of what's going on in a test. We'll start to see those users in here. So we've got Stephen Turner there and Christian Martin in here. So we've now got a much more broad set of users where in real time, adding to the pool of users we can log in with based on the users that are successfully signed up. So this is a core foundation for dataless testing or for just-in-time data fetching for tests, where we don't need to have a list of user IDs stored in a script. We fetch them real time. So now I'm going to bump this up and run all 40 users at the same time. And I'll bump this one up to sign up 10 lots of users all at the same time. So while that's happening, we can see they're all sitting there waiting for emails to come through. And now we've got a whole bunch of users. So all those users there, we'll start to see those names appearing over here. So if you rewind this video, just wait for a couple of cycles, you'll be able to see that that's happened. So this is a real world scenario where we're creating users, signing them up as brand new users from a random set of randomly out of a set of 2.5 million identities in test data services. When we successfully sign up, we're then logging in as those users. And then obviously you would normally in a real test do something. You would do a transaction, conduct a sale, or log a call, or whatever it is the system the test you're testing is supposed to do, whatever business processes. But you can see how we've achieved that in this case. And I think that's pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed this video and the next one as well. Have a great day.